Alright. This is due pretty quick, so I am going to get started. I can't hear it, but it's going off. So there we go. There we go. Yep. It is finally time. The rating video for Sky 3. So, this one surprised me. My opinion did not shift at all for this one, really. It ended up with the same score. I mean, it kind of shifted a little bit, but otherwise, the same sentiment was pretty much stayed true for between this and the Return to Trails Hills run of it. Namely, that story good, gameplay not as good. Good, right? Although I did soften on the gameplay quite a bit. I think the gameplay was sitting at like minus 40 or some bull crap last time. And I think the story literally did not move like at all. But regardless, yeah. We audited Sky 3, 13 sessions, 60 plus 65 to story, negative 11 to gameplay. Let's get started. And make sure that the shuffle is not on for this. Okay, good. So, humor, triple positive. That's a positive. There are definitely some awesome moments in this thing. Love it. Absolutely love it. The Devil May Cry effect, definitely in effect here. Sprite work was 2 positives. As it is, I gave a single positive to data usage, visual storytelling, animations, music, external continuity, world building, and the themes and the pacing, as well as the dialogue and the localization. All good stuff. Like, not much to really say there. Or if you watch the stream, you know it. Good foreshadowing, good flavor dialogue. Babylon 5 effect. Gameplay story integration. All of that stuff is pretty straightforward. So. And I just realized I don't have my notebook right here. Shit. Oh crap, what did I do with it? Because it's kind of hard to jot down, timestamps when you don't have the thing you write the timestamps into, I guess I could preempt this one in the butt while we were hearing it. Music is freaking amazing in this game. And the music direction is well utilized too. This song's a great example of that. Did I put it in here? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Okay. I was gonna say, that would be pretty dumb of me. Oh, wait. No, that's the other one. God damn it! No, where did it go? God damn it! I really do not know where I put it. I guess we'll keep going. Going for 20 presentation positives. Tito was the first character I jotted down a positive for. In hindsight, that really should have been Kevin and Reese first, but blame it on the fact that when I originally did this, I put it in the order that they got the positives. That's why. Hey, that is like that. So, yeah. Food for thought. I really don't know where the hell I put it. Wow. That is damn weird. I can't believe that. Crap. Alright, I guess I will just use the small notebook then for now. Now I need a pen. because I am totally organized today. And by totally organized, I mean completely unorganized. Alright. So I'll just have my smaller one for now. God damn it. So yeah, Tita, great character, still a great character. That really shouldn't be a surprise. Kevin got a positive. I didn't feel like he was worthy of multiples, honestly, even though he does have some great development here. But yeah, one, I felt like it was just one, which is funny because that's how I differ from the lore runner, is because I only gave Reese one positive. Don't get me wrong, they're good characters, but I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like they were as good, you know? There was some good moments with them, though. Absolutely. Professor Russell, aka Albert, is still good. Joshua, Chloe, Jin, and all still good characters, all still positive worthy. Olivier, Olivier is one of my favorite characters in the series. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm pretty I think it's safe to say he's my fourth, because of Van. Fourth favorite character in the whole frickin' series. But considering that the game is going on 13 goddamn games, which I will play at some point whenever the hell Horizon shows up. Yeah. Richard continues to be awesome. So, Osborne. Last time I didn't really give Osborne a positive, but no, that Olivier's Door really frickin' gave so many positives. As it was to the story, it was almost kind of ridiculous, really. And this is the first one right now. Oh, Osborne himself. He is well established in Olivier Mueller's Door, even if you don't realize it yet. And while I can't really count it as Babylon 5 effect due to the hindsight coming from the Cold Steels, he is still well characterized here, and we get the impression, even just from his few short scenes, how much he has Olivier on the back foot. Good. So, yeah. Like, Olivier is on the back foot just by hearing he's shown up. Like, the second he shows up, Olivier is just on the back foot. So, There you go. 14 character positives. Now on to the moments. Now, I like that whole airliner section. I feel it is just gold and a great way to reintroduce Kevin so that we understand, his deal and what he's all about. Great stuff. I did harden hard on Erica, admittedly, but I do like her initial refusal to let Tita help develop Orbital Gear. Here, as I felt it made perfect sense, and is more than just ego or danger. Well, it is, but I would argue that's like 65% more of the thing. It ain't of her reasoning, but regardless. Because the whole idea is they're developing a weapon, and Tita needs to understand that. Which leads us into the next moment positive, which is her discussing it with her dad. And on why the hell she wants to develop Orbital Gear in order to confront Ren. And to show that she is actually really taking this seriously. So, cool. I end the intro at the end of chapter 1. I do like how it sets everything up. The prologue is kind of just doesn't do anything, and I almost feel like you should have extended the prologue to the end to where chapter 1 ends, but that's just me. Hey, a lot of Trails prologue chapters actually do a better job of establishing more than what this one does. This is probably the weakest prologue in the whole series. And I kind of mean that sincerely, sadly. Hey, well, except for the ones that actually get negatives, but you get my point. With the least good one, right? Without going full on bad. I like Julia Mueller's door. 2 positives there. Here. I love diving into both characters. I love the humor in it. With the whole I should take some timestamps. With the whole, Julia being stupidly popular. And I also love the dynamic that those two have. Like, this door pretty much made it so that I started shipping them hard. Like, just straight up hardcore. Started shipping them. And, yeah, I absolutely adore that, because I felt their dynamic worked. I felt like it definitely helped. So, let me go ahead and say something about this game to make it crystal clear where I stand on this. The reason I like Sky 3 so much is how it acts like kind of a primer for the rest of the series, right? You don't need this thing in order to understand the rest of the series, my opinion. Then again, I can say that about a lot of the fucking series. As I feel like people being lost in certain cases is frankly fucking stupid. But Sky 3, I feel, expands upon and kind of sets up things for the rest of the series, and I like it for that. Case in point, the Salt Pail, aka Star Door 2. I feel it really kind of highlights why exactly the Septium Church hated Weissman so much, and effectively what lengths they went to give him an ironic AF death. Great stuff. Joshua and Chloe's door, I felt like that was a good one for some good character interactions. I don't understand why some people say it's a reversion, but whatever. I also really want to give special praise to Chloe finally confessing her feelings to Joshua. It is a nice scene to see how much Chloe has grown throughout the Sky trilogy. Although I will say I kind of hate the fact that uh, that Joshua says he would never have fallen for Chloe. I disagree with that personally. I think he would have eventually, just not in the same. It's just would have taken a lot longer. I feel, especially if she managed to just, you know, you know do essentially what Estelle did and go after him. Anyways, so Jin's Star Door, which shows off Jin and Kelika's friendship. I kind of like that. Good stuff. Which also sets up where she is in both the Crossbell games and in the Daybreaks. So there's that. The discussion between Annalise and Lugren during her door, and then the whole meeting with Cassius and facing Richard. Well, I'm not gonna show. I may or may not show that one. You know what? Actually, yeah, I'll show those two. But yeah, meeting up with Cassius, I felt was great at giving Annalise a chance of re-examining her ways as a bracer and reinforcing her resolve, which is good. Chloe's solo door is a great exploration of her backstory, so I really liked that. And so that's good. Good. Yes. Okay. So this is one where I'm gonna differ from the Lore Runner heavily, because I feel like I don't mean to keep dogging on the Lore Runner. I really shouldn't. I should stop. But when he misses the fucking point this fucking hard, it's kind of hard not to, you know? Give me a second here. Here. So, Shara's door, specifically her inner monologue. Where she talks about her past. Talks about where she was as a kid and all of that. I feel like I'll know what that means. I feel like that it hits hard for me and does not shy away from explaining exactly why Shara cannot allow herself to stop being a bracer. So, good stuff. So, yeah. Then there's Agate's pep talk during the after the Orbital Gear rampage. That was good stuff, right up until Erica ruins it, but whatever. Still good, still a triple positive. The Epstein Foundation door, despite that awful trial that you need to beat in order to see it, it is some good world building. Then we have our next point. yeah. just It's just poetry. Literally, the span of a few minutes, not only sees through Ren's lies, but manages to call her out on it at the same time. So, yeah, love it. Triple positive there. I like Castel and Joshua's door, or I felt it is heartwarming with the flashback part, as it shows how it wasn't instantaneous that Joshua warmed up to Estelle, so that's good. Took painstaking effort. I like that. The Ravens door, I felt like it was a great way to show character development for the Ravens. It's also nice that they wanted Karna but got Hackett instead. That was actually great. Hey, so 2 positives there. So sorry. I mentioned it before. But now it's time to talk about Audit properly with Osborn's introduction. So, Osborn's introduction scene. If you're wondering why I didn't show anything for the character positive, this is why. His introductory scene in Olivier Mueller's door is just plain gold. Sky 2 and bits and pieces of Sky 3 have been hyping this man up, and this scene does not disappoint in the slightest. Portraits make it crystal clear just how much of a smug snake he is. Even the way the portraits make it crystal clear just how much of a smug snake he is are all just perfection. It's all just perfection. This is one of the best scenes, not just in this game, but in the entire series, in my opinion. Easily triple positive worthy. Then there's Olivia and Osborn's conversation, which is just downright amazing, and is one of the best scenes in the series yet again. Osborn showing just how politically dangerous he is, and how much of an uphill battle Olivier has ahead of him. So that was another triple positive there. When I said Olivier Mueller's door, or was the best door in the fucking game, or alluded to that fact, I wasn't fucking kidding. You know? Especially how it ends, specifically with Olivier's send-off of where he shoots the roses, which actually has a callback in, I think it has a callback in both Cold Steel 1 and Cold Steel 3, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, great to show off Olivier's character and that he will never back down from a challenge. Great. Love that. Despite the steep cost of opening it, the Maybelle door I felt was amazing and really shows the bond between Maybelle and Lila. It may be a giant misunderstanding, but it flows naturally as a result of Maybelle's character and desire to see Lila happy. So, triple positive there. Which is funny because that whole door is pretty much Maybelle. If you're wondering why there's no footage. That whole door is basically Maybelle. Maybelle thinks Lila is in love of and is all for it. She's a little sad and maybe a little bit jealous. It's basically just big shipping fodder at that point, which is great. The door that talks about Blue Blanc intrigues me and adds mystique to Blue Blanc. I really enjoy that. Powder Motor door is a great look into why Ren, of all people, is able to operate it. Richard's door is great at showing the complexity of Richard's departure from the military. The reveal and departure of Louvet, despite the problems I have with him being masked, is a fantastic scene and a great send-off for the character, as well as showing not only how far Joshua has come, but how much room for growth there still is, and as such, 2 positives. Then we get into the big things. This one requires a timestamp. The reveal that Kevin killed Rufina. You know, with his stigma. It's a fantastic scene and reveals what this whole plot has been about this whole time. Kevin's guilt. He feels responsible for all that happened to Rufina and his mother, and wants to receive what he feels are his just desserts, and him and Reese falling into Canada is just poetic. Triple positive for that scene. Which leads into some great gameplay story integration with Kevin's victory quotes in Chapter 7. You know, sorry, but you had to die. Hey, stay alert, this isn't over. You know, stuff like that. That stuff. God damn it, I keep doing that. Ugh. Next up is another one I needed to take a timestamp for. Weissman. The whole confrontation with Weissman is awesome and shows the progress Kevin has made through his character arc. I love the fact that Weissman pulls the whole join the dark side, we have cookies, but Kevin basically says, nah, I'm good, I have cake. Which I realize you can interpret that in a couple of different ways, and, you know, but it's all metaphor, and look, I love it as a final request from Kevin Stigma to give up. So, yeah, no. So, triple positive. With special shout out to the reveal that Kevin Stigma is behind the entirety of this story. So, cool. Stardoor 14 is great at hinting at the events of Cold Steel 1 and 2. This is, of course, when we find out that that the Oriel is in the hands of Ouroboros' Grandmaster. Which, again, I feel like I feel like there's one simple little thing that lore overlooks when it comes to when it comes to oh great, the villains have the Oriel thing. There's more than one Septarian. I mentioned this all the way back, and I mentioned this during Sky 1 and the Sky 1 remake. It's not the only Septarian. The Oriel is not the be-all, end-all, is not the highest end one. Hell, I would argue it's not even the strongest Septarian we've seen so far. Or, of the ones that could potentially return, actually, I think of the ones that could potentially return, it's the strongest, because the others I don't think are coming back, but you get my point. You know? There's still a couple more that we still have, so. The flight of the Arcee is kind of awesome, and the barrier-destroying shot being a White Falcon is just perfect. The reveal of Anima is great and shows how far Kevin has come in his character arc, yet again, so that's cool. And then there is, of course, the big one. And probably one of the more important ones in the entire thing. The farewell to Rufina. It is a beautiful scene. I love it showing the resolve of both Kevin and Reese. It's a triple positive, absolutely. And of course, there's all of the farewells that everybody does as they leave. Eve Phantasma, great stuff. And I gave the outro positive as well. 95 story positives. Good stuff. All good stuff. Now let's get into the negatives, shall we? Not a fan of the text timing. I feel like it's like the auto dialogue is just too fast, and it's kind of irritating. Kind of like AK.com thing. Whoa, no. There. Yeah, it's... Yeah. Cutscene incompetence doesn't usually bug me, but it crops up way too much here to not be noticeable, so yeah. Try to be shocked with this one. There's some serious empty text in this game. The issue here is that 99% of the empty text comes from Josette. It comes when Josette opens her mouth, which is done way too fucking often. The final 1% is from info being repeated to us over and over and over again. This is especially egregious when it comes to 12 of the 13 times we release party members from the Sealing Stones, as the scene plays out the same way every single time. Is this a dream? No, too real for a dream. Can you explain? Thank you. Rinse and repeat 12 times. And the only reason it's only 12 and not all 13 is because Rufina at this point is still murder happy. So when Ren is released, it's more of a no, we're not going to explain, and if you're not going to cooperate, I'm just going to kill you. There's also some fake drama moments as well. Only 6 presentation negatives. Pretty damn good considering the usual track record with it. Then there's Erica. As I said, I have hardened hard on Erica as a character really badly. She is just too much. Every scene she's in, every fucking scene she is in, she has to be so arrogant and full of herself, complete with being told she isn't, complete with us being told that she's not evil and murderous. Which, with some slight tweaks to the presentation, she would be seen as a villain. And Dan is honestly no better, as he is constantly an enabling asshole who just lets Erica do as she pleases. It also isn't helped that neither of them go through any real character development at all, and that's not just localized to this game. They don't get better in the entire fucking series, like, at all. Oh. Like, I'm sorry, but by the time Reverie rolls around, she shouldn't be forcing Tita to go through an entire fucking character arc just to get her just so she can stay and keep researching the orbital gear. Which backfires anyway, because, spoilers, she goes back to La Pearl. She's back in La Pearl in the fucking Daybreaks. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Whatever. Granted, we don't see Dan, but at least Erica will be like this all the way up to fucking Reverie, so, yeah. Okay, Gilbert. I don't know why people call Gilbert the GOAT. How the fuck is this useless piece of shit, who you literally could eject from the fucking narrative without losing anything, the GOAT? Like, I'm sorry, but Gilbert is useless to every plot he's in. And I mean that sincerely. He is an afterthought in every single one, right? He's a nuisance to Rutger in Cold Steel Force Prologue. Then he literally disappears off the face of the fucking planet until the fucking side quest deep into Cold Steel 4, and then he's got like what, a couple of appearances during a couple of the doors. There's in Reverie, and that's it. He then gets replaced by an even worse bitch in fucking Daybreak 2. Yeah, triple negative because god damn it. He is honestly so stupid, it's a wonder his comrades don't shoot him out of spite. So, yeah. So, the Masked Man, aka fucking Louvet. Hey, it's so guessable. It's not even funny, honey. Both here and in Cold Steel 3, is frankly stupid. If there's another masked individual, and actually Reverie is the other time they pull that, and it's like the only time they've ever been even remotely successful with it is Reverie, and even then, that's questionable. Excuse me. Although I will say, at least here they don't draw attention to it. There's a couple of there's a couple of times where Joshua will cock an eyebrow, but that's about it. You know. Then there's Josette, who honestly pisses me off with her dialogue. Oh, good timing for this song. She honestly pisses me off, as her dialogue is literally straight padding. Plus, her character is so one-note it's pathetic. Her one character trait is her hatred. They consider it a rivalry, but I refuse to dignify that. Her hatred of Estelle because she wants to fuck Joshua. I talked about this in Sky 2. She doesn't want a relationship with Joshua, she just wants to have sex with Joshua. That's it. That's all it fucking is. It's sex. End of discussion. Then you combine that with her frankly inexcusable way she treats Dawn in her door, and yeah, that's a triple negative. Excuse me. Honestly, and speaking of her door, honestly, from a story perspective, her door just continues to highlight why removing at least Josette from the story would be a net positive, as her dialogue in equating her losing out on a letter from Joshua to the absolute worst mistake that fucked all three of them over is just plain wrong. She literally compares losing a letter from Joshua accidentally, which they can literally just turn around and go pick up, to them losing their nobility status. That is because they were scammed out of it. I almost feel like I shouldn't have to say anything on that. I really feel like I shouldn't. Then there's Shara's door in general, which is kind of rough. Despite the fact that it does contain an awesome bit that, no, I don't care, there is a flashback in a flashback. Heck. See, the problem here is that all the presentation negs are on full blast in this door. The pacing of this door specifically is bluck. The fake drama with Kurt and his gaslighting, which is just what the actual fuck. The empty text that is 100% of his dialogue, and the cutscene incompetence, which, you guessed it, is also his fault too. It's nice to see how Shara and Ina met, but it's just meh at best, and has the wrong message at worst. Like, she goes through this whole rigmarole to get this inheritance, which is rightfully hers, I feel like pointing out, that her family is trying to steal from her. She gives it up. Why? Take the money, buy a nice fucking house, and live comfortably. If you want to be a receptionist at the guild hall, you can still do that while taking the money. What the actual fuck is this is this fucking bullshit? Ugh! There's cultural shit, and then there's just being fucking stupid. Even if you buy a house and then donate the rest of it to charity, that'd be something. But no, she literally just gives up every fucking cent of it. Are you kidding me? Build a fucking orphanage at least. You dumbass. Like, fuck. Ugh. Agate and Teeter ship during their first scene. I feel like I should really just jump over this and just move on as fast as my legs will carry me, but I want to hold off on talking about that fucking door or for as long as possible, so let's talk about this for a little bit. In Cold Steel 3, you could maybe get away with it, as that is a few years after this, but it's still not funny. I have never been on board with the Tita and Agate ship, and I never, frankly, will. Pairing them together successfully would require the series to wait until Daybreak 1 at a minimum, in my opinion, to keep it from being creepy, and even then it would need to be handled with extreme amounts of care. And not just, well, this is okay in Japan, so therefore it's okay to put it in here. It's like, at least change it to, the whole teasing of, the whole big bro teasing or something. Let the fandom ship them. The Japanese version and the fandom ship them. Yeah, that may sound like 4Kids type of censorship, but the point is, the heart of the point is still there. Here, Agate deeply cares about Tita, and he's teased for it. That's what this is at the end of the day. Hey, or at least I fucking hope so, because I honestly hope the characters do not want Agate to stick a 24-year-old Agate to stick his dick in a 13-year-old Tita. Fuck. That's why I call it gross and wrong. Ugh. Anyways. Ugh, and speaking of shit. So, I can't put this off anymore. We have to talk about Legendary Angler Estelle. You want to talk waste o' time as my phone goes off with something that's important. Give me a second. Okay, blocking face fix. Whoops. Wait. Sorry. Where was I? Right. Legendary Angler Estelle. Oh god, where the hell do I even begin with this? It's a colossal waste of fucking time. There's no insight into Estelle's character, other than the whole can't leave someone in need, which is established even within this game in her first scene in Chapter 5 where she joins. Not to mention that this doesn't help build the world at all either. Combine that with the anglers all being morons who are obsessed with fishing to the point of I think that should say failing self-preservation. Oh, self-preservation means separate. Okay, never mind. I did say it. And yeah, recipe for a triple negative, because, like, fucking seriously. And then there's the pacing during Chapter 6, which is brought to a screeching halt with the monument messages, as they have to be viewed twice. And they have slow-moving text, and said text is slow as fuck. Hate it. Then there's one that I'm probably a lot harsher on than probably most people will be. Gilbert and Gehenna. Oh my god, Gilbert in fucking Gehenna. So, here's why this is stupid, okay? He defies all sense of logic and cohesive storytelling by not only being in Gehenna to begin with, but also leading a pack of devils just so the cavalry can arrive to save Kevin and Reese, which is just fucking weak. Normally, I wouldn't even bat an eye at this, this would just be another example of something that would be stupid. But the rest of the game has been brilliantly written, especially the scene with Weissman immediately prior to that. So yeah, no, that contrast alone bumped it up to a triple. And then the final triple negative that I have for the story is the Calvary moment itself being weak sauce. I like the sentiment, but it just felt a little too neat and tidy for my taste. Also, would have been awesome if it had been playable, but oh well, whatever. Combine that with the fact that it's only necessary because of Gilbert of all fucking people, and the cutscene incompetence on display. Yeah, no, triple negative. 31 total negatives. God, I hated this. That should be 60. Wait. Oh. Apparently I screwed up, and that should be 64. My bad. I think I got it right in the other thing, but whatever. Anyway, let's move on to the gameplay positives. Music is a triple positive. You've been hearing it this whole time. That's not a surprise. A lot of these are just carried over from the other ones. So, New Game Plus, options, save system, auto saves, use, and quality of life, all 2 positives each. I like the Hermit's Garden as a hub area. Cooking is back and useful as ever. Retry offset is good. It is always a good thing. Fast travel was 2 positives in this one. Tita is still a good utility character. That is the last time you will ever see that positive, admittedly. Mostly because the rest of the series will not really require a utility character because its combat systems will lend itself more so to that. I'll have to pay attention when I audit the Crossbell games to see if I still agree with that. To see if, say, Noelle, when she's briefly in the party, is a good utility character, but we'll see. Also, satellite cannon. Yeah, I've said my piece there. S-Break is still a plus. It will never not be a plus, as Sky 2 revealed. The variety of the quartz, 2 positives. Good differences in party member combat styles. Also helped by the game on several occasions encouraging different combinations and styles and gives you enough septive to encourage it. Some people find this one to be a grind, and I don't understand that. Just put Josette in the support role and watch how you never have to grind again. I seriously don't understand that. I mean, there is some grinding here, admittedly, but, it's not as necessary as some people make it out to be. Anyways. Kevin's Spear of Loa and Spear of Ur, those are cool. Cool and awesome S-Crafts. Heavenly Strike, good range and damage output. Ren's S-Craft Potter Modder. Yeah, enough said, really. Good info in game, resulting in 2 positives. Quest log, bestiary, visual distinction, and flow of exploration and itemization are all good. With an extra bit of awesome itemization, specifically in the final dungeon. The blessings from the doors. There's nice gameplay incentive to go through them. Good combat animation, good core combat. Good combat interface, good HUD, good enemy variety, all that stuff's good. I like this power progression curve a lot. It is honestly so smooth and awesome that I can tell a huge difference from early game to late game, and for the first time in the series. Definitely not the last though. Cold Steel 1, Daybreak 1, and Reverie all coming to mind immediately. But regardless, this is the first time the power progression curve will gain 3 positives. Full heal and level up, I will never not give that a plus. Because that's cool. Late game viscerality, gameplay story integration, all good stuff. 49 gameplay presentation positives. The intro, which I ended the end of chapter 1, good setup for all the gameplay beats. Some of the bosses actually shifted around for me. A lot of bosses were negatives. Yeah, some of them shifted up to being positives. For example, upon re-examination, Bennu is actually a decently crafted fight that works well. Not sure why I hated it so much last time, in all honesty. Like, we were even kind of trying to explore that a little bit. Julia versus Mueller during their door. I feel like that's actually a really good one. He doesn't end up being all that cheap, even if he does like to cancel your arts a lot. The fight with Darkbringer in the Grand Arena is great. I feel like it was challenging but fair. Chapter 3 has an interesting, if simple AF gimmick, and it works well, even encouraging testing out all of the then current party members if you haven't. Annalise versus Richard during Annalise's door. Another good fight to test your skills and makes it so that you have to stay on your toes. It makes you... That does not sound right. Wow. Oh, Microsoft Word, you do not know how English... You do not speak English good. God. Ugh. Apparently neither do I. Anyways, Agate versus the Orbital Gear, both rounds 1 and 2. They may be easy as all get out, but they are fun and really are nice, entertaining fights. And then Tita just having Orbital Gear after you unlock that is just fuck the hell yes. Walking battle tank, that is awesome. Oh, and is immune to knockback, by the way. Just pointing that out. Storador 6, playing as the Ravens. I feel like the difficulty to me feels constructed. The enemy HP is lower and manageable, and their moves, which annoyed the piss out of me in Sky 1, are easy enough to help you through it. So, triple positive there. With an extra special bonus to... I should jot that down, actually. Because, yeah, I should be showing that. That one specifically I should show off. I'll probably remember to show off some footage of Orbital Gear. I think I know specifically which one I'm going to use for that, too. Admittedly. Anyways, but yeah, the fight against Agate is pretty cool. Coliseum Door is good, though if you're under-leveled, it is cheap. Though do a chapter with Jin in your party and it becomes cake. So there you go. The fight with Philip feels fair and challenging without being cheap, and for this game, that's rare. The fight with Kilika is another tough but fair fight. Even though her ads have way too much HP. I like Campanilla's Quiz Door. That one was kind of a nice little distraction. That was kind of nice. Test your knowledge of the Sky Trilogy. The gameplay story integration of Kevin's victory quotes. Very, very nice. I like the fighting against Weissman and the two gatekeepers in Gehenna. Really like it. And it's also a great Hyper Beam moment. So, yeah, I think I'm going to show that off. Because yeah, that one I think is worth showing. Again, this is meant to be a summary of the thing, you know. The optional dungeon in Abyss, I think, is actually pretty cool. It is pretty samey with the locations, but yeah, and it's a good way to level up your units really quickly for preparation for the final dungeon. It would be faster if the X cap wasn't quad 9, but I'm not about to bitch about that. Also, every boss is optional. So if you only care about Ren's Door, aka Star Door 15, then you can beeline for it with little issue. Phantasmagoria is my pick for the best final dungeon in the whole series. Yes, seriously. I feel like it has an interesting gimmick. The layout is fun, and every single boss fight upon re-examination just nails it. So triple positive there. And speaking of those boss fights, the Golden Potter Modder, the Reverie Mech clone, and R Tycoon were the ones that got positives out of me. Hey, R Tycoon in particular is probably the one that you saw when Future Alex is probably the boss fight that Future Alex put as an example of, oh hey, the orbital gear can't be affected by knockback. Heck, it's only his ads that cause any status effects, and if you have Tita in the party that fights him, and she has orbital gear, there's a knockback move he has that will not affect Tita because orbital gear is too heavy. Yes, fucking seriously. Love it. Outro on the gameplay, upon further reflection, is also good. Mostly because you get so many goddamn ribbons in the late game, so there you go. 82 positives. However, you notice that negative 11, that means there's 93 negatives to go through. Let's get started. So, I mentioned it up with R Tycoon, but, yeah, knockback. Attacks that smack you all across the battlefield. God, I fucking hate it. There's still no mini-map in the dungeons. The early game has really bad viscerality. The on-field enemies are back and as annoying as they were in Sky 1. There was a large amount of on-field enemies that you could easily sneak around, but here, yeah, no, they just beeline for you, so triple negative there. I don't like the difficulty curve. I feel it is more spike than curve. I feel the gameplay has bad pacing. There's padding galore. I don't like the enemy design or the encounter design. The encounter design especially was a triple negative. I still don't like this boss design. I don't know why Thor likes it so goddamn much. This game is obsessed with status effects. Oh my fucking god. With confusion and petrification being the two big ones. God, I fucking hate that. Also negative to those goddamn trash mobs that love to constantly cancel your arts and make magic builds heavily fucking discouraged. Boss HP is also a little on the ridiculous side in my opinion. Constant accuracy and evasion issues. Good lord, fuck off. The economy with the prices of weapons and armor is just ridiculous because Mira is not that easy to come by. Your only real source of income is the doors, and that is a very finite resource, aside from grinding Septive, of course, but yeah. As I said, grinding is not as rampant in this thing, doesn't mean it's not here. Obnoxious amounts of backtracking, especially later on, with Chapter 6 probably being the worst for it. That's why I got a separate negative for that. Also, yeah, walkthroughitis, especially in Chapter 6. The Monochrome Academy coming to mind immediately. Ugh. I don't like the turn bonuses in this one, as they feel awful in this game. Most of the time, enemies will get the good ones, like critical and death, while you get the awful ones, like item and guard. Guard is especially as bad because it literally makes it so that you do 0 damage. Damage if it's your turn, if it's your turn bonus. Yeah, no. Triple negative for that. I did end up giving in general grind negative, just the 1 because it's not that bad. Ed. But yeah, you really do need to grind, and if you want to upgrade everybody. Then there's Josette. It's pretty amazing that I only gave her 1, but I think I actually asked on stream if there should have been more than 1, and yeah, no, I'm gonna stick to 1. But regardless, Josette, from a gameplay perspective, is the worst party member in the game. And possibly the whole series. I'm not going to give that dishonor to Kia or Shara and Reverie just because of their orders, though Shara's is admittedly pretty bad. And I count that more as they're not playable, right? Josette can be put into the party and can shoot enemies with her gun. So that I count, you know? The problem here, though, is that there are 2 instances of the game forcing you to use her, and her stats and crafts are just bad. If she was in something like, say, Final Fantasy IX or Final Fantasy XII, then she'd be fine, but here, no, she sucks ass. Then there's the accessory Saffron necklace, whose description is a lie through mistranslation, as it says it prevents status effects when what it actually prevents is stat down. The control skills occasionally will switch between mouse and controller, which is just frustrating. So 38 presentation negatives. Now let's get into individual stuff. Tita alone versus the 3 Moon Guardians is just a bullshit boss fight. The combination of the knockback and the move down debuff that they love to spam when they are low health, it's just obnoxious. Also, keep in mind that Tita's attack is an AoE and they like to bunch up together. Then there's Josette's door, which just can fuck right off. This one I'm going to have to show. Just so that everybody's on the same page of what I'm talking about when it comes to this. But yeah, no, that whole shooting down Gilbert in the Bobcat minigame can just go to hell. The hit detection feels off, the difficulty on normal feels a little harsh, and Gilbert's audio spam is obnoxious. In fact, the Gilbert fight half is what earns the door to the triple negative specifically, with an extra fuck off to Gilbert's audio spam and his unavoidable laser attack in specific. Fucking hated that door. Rostrum, which I believe is in the depths, the sealed area portion there. Here, yeah. Cheap as hell and has infinitely spawning ads. Never mind the fact that said ads have a fetish for blind. So that was a double negative. I don't know why people like the doppelganger fights. Speaking of, the Kevin one is just frustrating as he loves to make his ads invincible, for a couple of attacks at the start of the fight, and the ads have a decent chance of inflicting instant fucking death on you. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that fight. I also don't like Doppelganger Shara ads, which are just irritating with their confusion fetish either. Then there's a start, who's yet another badly designed fight, in my opinion. His massive damage output with his ads being able to cause vanish is just cuz. And oh yeah, by the way, did I mention his ads can regenerate? Also, fuck his ability to teleport or to be out of range instantly. Fishing still sucks, hooks, and most of it is centered in Legendary Angler Estelle, which is the worst store in the game. Triple negative for fishing, triple negative for the door itself, and the duel with Norsh and the Baron in particular can just both go die in a fire. Norsh, both of them kind of suffer from the same thing. I mean, because she pulls bullshit out of her ass. She either pulls bullshit out of her ass and beats you, or you curb stomp her. And there is honestly no in between there. And it's the exact same with the fishing baron. As it feels even more, and that's combining it with the feeling of it feeling finicky with the timing. I mean, even more so than the first two combined. And once again, you either curb stomp or get fucked right at the end. So, yeah. I really don't like fishing in the Sky Trilogy. Can you tell? The Star Guardian and the pack of mischiefs. This is just an awful fight with all of the mischiefs causing petrify. There's also way too fucking many of them. So yeah, triple negative there. Then there's the Gambler Jackdaw, which just cheats, as it constantly gives you shit during the Jack round, and can literally stall you out in for way too fucking long. So triple negative there. Hate that goddamn door. Or so. The Arachne Sisters. Oh boy, let's talk about this. So, they are still a bad boss fight. But I feel I was a little too harsh last time. It is a bad boss fight in my opinion, but I was raging at it last time like it was the worst fight in the series, when it doesn't even qualify as the worst fight in the Sky Trilogy. Yeah, thanks for that, Luve and the Terrace. Still, though, the constant status effects, especially Petrify, and the brutal damage output on this one make it so that this fight is easily double negative worthy. I spoke about it, I mentioned it earlier, but the Monochrome Schoolhouse's gimmick can eat my ass. The gimmick in question is that you have to find the blue knights in each area, avoid the red knights like the plague, and do so in each area, all without the game ever giving you so much as a hint of what to do. Doesn't help that the loot in this place taunts you by giving you 4/5 of the mirror needed to open the door here, as this is where the Maybell door is. Yes, so yeah. Fighting the Ravens is aggravating for the same reason playing as them is great. Ren versus the Star Guardian and the Vogels is yet another fight that adores their status effects like Poison, Blind, and of course, fucking Petrify. Hey, Ren may come with some goodies, but unless you've been leveling her, this fight can be a bitch. Especially if you don't equip her to prevent Petrify. God, I hate that fight. Kurt loves his death blows, his feint, and his stat-ups, so he can go to hell too. I also really don't like the Heart Arena's final round, which is just plain bullshit with how many there are, how much HP they have, and their sleep fetish. Also, their speed is through the fucking roof, resulting in them getting several turns. Then there's the fights with the frickin' army guys. I'm probably only gonna show the Cassius one specifically, but they are all just absolutely terrible and awful, and God, I fucking hate it so damn much. God damn. I just fucking hate it. I hate it so damn much because let's just go through them. Future Alex has probably got the fight against Cassius up right now. Playing. So, the fight against it has way too many ads. They all cause status effects rapidly and repeatedly, and the game really doesn't, which just adds to the fact that the game really doesn't get boss fights, in my opinion. And this is not what I call good boss design. This is what I call kicking you in the dick and demanding that you pay it for services rendered. Also, fuck General Morgan and his feint fetish. Hits like a truck and has an insane amount of HP. 68,000. Like, fucking seriously? And he loves casting feint constantly. Then there's Cassius, who is a cheap bastard on normal. He hits for way too much, he gets multiple turns in a row, and has way too much HP on both difficulties, and way too much defense on normal. Honestly, I feel it is one of the most poorly designed fights in the series. Well, I won't say the worst in the Sky trilogy. That dishonor belongs to Lawrence Terrance's fight, Hidden Sky 1. It is still one of, if not the worst fight in the game, in this game is specific. Barring maybe the final boss, which I'm pretty sure I didn't declare worse than this, but I guess we will see. Still triple negative for that fight. Was not a fan of fighting the Ouroboros Trinity, Luciola, Blue Blanc, and Walter. All of the annoyances from Sky 2 mixed with this game's status effect fetish, and Luciola healing herself constantly, which is just, I felt, unfair. Not a fan of the Schwarzwer fight with his confusion and arts canceling. I also gave Abyss a negative. For as lucrative as the X-Gang and Zemurian ore is, his Abyss is still an overlong and boring as fuck dungeon that is only lucrative for the obnoxious palm boss at the bottom and Ren's door, which if neither of those are appealing to you, then you won't like this dungeon. Also, Tempest Palm, the aforementioned palm boss, has stupidly high stats and is honestly more of a pain to deal with than it should be. Then there's the Nightmare Arena's final round on the Nightmare difficulty, which is Cassius and Luve. Honestly, not fucking sad. And apparently I didn't like the final boss against Anima Mundi, as I feel it is an awful final battle. Here, let's make the boss invincible to everything until you get rid of his pillars. Said pillars have a stupidly strong laser attack, and Phase 2 who has ads that cause vanish. Yeah, triple negative there for a total of 93. Still not fond of the gameplay of this game, but that is indeed Sky the Third. This is still a good game, in my opinion. It's still good. It's still got, it's still got all the bells and whistles and whatnot. I don't mind this game, but I would be lying if I said that, it's not a bad game in my opinion. It's merely okay. It's good. It's good, just not great, But that's it. I still managed to make this shorter, and yet I still spent an hour and 15 minutes. God, I dread the Fire Emblem Three Houses video. I dread that thing. That's gonna be fun next year. Anyways, but yeah, no, that's it. That's Sky the Third. Next, next, I don't remember what's next. Actually, let me go ahead and consult my list. Oh, come on. Next up on the list is... yes, East versus Trails. That one's gonna be super damn short. I might actually be able to record it like right now and get that done. Although the next two after that will probably be... It will probably be a bit on the longer side, admittedly. So, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys next time for a much shorter rating video. Mostly because it's a much shorter game. Until next time, this is Blue Wolf Alex of the Lore Walkers signing out. Have a good one. See ya.